When people make videos on platformers, a vast majority of them tend to center around a select few names that bring in the most attention. I'm sure you've all heard of Cuphead, Hollow Knight, Hi-Fi Rush, as well as the big dogs Mario and Sonic. The market has gotten so much variety in the past few years, but not much has really blown up on YouTube. Well, I'm here to change that with my microscopic channel. We aren't going to be discussing any stupid games that no one cares about anymore, but instead a game that I bet none of you have ever even seen. This is Lunistice. This game is small, and I mean like really small. Heading to its Steam page, it only has a mere 1,182 reviews. I don't know why I said the exact number, go away. A major decrease from some of the Goliaths out there. It's a game that lurks deep in the shadows of this genre, hiding away out of fear that it can't compete with the competition. However, I think it can. Lunistice is a 3D platformer developed by Nxcturnal, aka Grumpy Fox, or A Grumpy Fox. It stars a furry protagonist known as Hara the Tanuki, who sets off on an adventure of a lifetime. She has to go to the moon or something? I don't really know. There's something about a mask, I don't know. This short little indie project involves traveling across a variety of worlds and collecting crystals, known as cranes, during your efforts to reach the goal. Think of it as Spyro the Dragon's Collectathon style gameplay meets Sonic Adventure's linear open world style of levels. When it comes down to it, that's all Lunistice really is, and I mean, what do you expect for a $5? But that price point I still think is so generous for a game of this quality. I first discovered this game from a video by Foco, and I instantly gravitated towards it because of its art style, which is something all of you are also looking at, as I feel it's fantastically refreshing to see such an old school era be modernized in 2024. Or 2022 when the game came out sharp. The Dreamcast inspired visuals make the game feel like I'm taking a journey back to 2001 when I was -4, which makes absolutely perfect sense. Something about it just invokes so much nostalgia for me thanks to this retro era of graphical fidelity. Thank God I don't have to play it with this thing, man. I mean, what is this? Someone explained to me how you unironically used to play games with this thing. This is the reason people need to watch YouTube now while doing actually anything. It is so stupid. Ignoring that tangent, I'm a huge fan of these visuals, and I think more platformers should actually experiment with having a toned down graphics setting for people who want to experience that nostalgic feeling to their games. Something about the pixel style and vibrant colours give the game more life than most others out there, and would definitely help this title stick out in the long run, just like Cuphead did with its graphics, or even Sonic Mania, which brought back an OG style to the Sonic franchise. Additionally to this, you do also have a HD version that you can change in the settings, but even this actually looks great, and I think you should all experiment with using both if you do decide to pick up this game. Moving into the lore of the game, you aren't really getting much. At the start of the game, you watch a cutscene talking about issues with an underlying system that is being analysed by someone talking in your ear. They talk about Hannah being, quote, the next case, and saying that she has control over the program. They send her into a sample loop of her exploring her dreams and have her trying to get to the moon, and that's as far as I've really gotten with it. There are also documents you can collect in each world which act as a minor story dump, which are curious to read, but don't exactly tell us much. To be fair, some games don't even care about trying to make a story, so I am happily gonna take this. I started watching a speedrun of the game where the runner commented on the fact that each level you go through constantly feels like an ascension towards your final goal of reaching the moon. You begin in what seems to be some kind of homeland for Hannah, with green grass and tall shrubbery, similar to the beginning of the old school Mario games where you would always start in the Mushroom Kingdom. You then travel to the beach, followed by a grand amusement park, then a food place, I don't think this really linked, a massive tree with huge mushrooms, followed by the mountain peaks leading towards the finale. This isn't really much to go off of, but it is still interesting that there was clearly some thought that went into the structure of these levels, which, by the way, these levels are just fantastic anyway. This game has so much fluidity to it that I found myself replaying the same levels over and over and over again just because they were so fun to run around in. You have a few enemies to take out, a couple tricky jumps, but other than that, this is just pure platforming fun. Lunistice also includes 2 additional characters to play as, Tori and Tuki. Tori is the protagonist of their own even smaller indie franchise that I ended up picking up for like 80p and blasting through it in no more than half an hour. Tori can run much faster than the other characters, but it comes at a cost of having no double jump and only having 1 hit point, so if you run into an enemy, you die instantly. You also have Tuki the Owl Samurai, who slashes people with a katana like a badass. They have the ability to fly for a short period of time and have a faster attack speed, but frankly, they felt like the worst to play out of the three. I think Hannah is the perfect main character of this game and really feels like the quintessential one of all three of them. Tori is a blast to play through if you enjoy speedrunning and just going through levels as quickly as possible, and Tuki, to be honest, is kinda whatever. But each one felt fun enough to go through the game with, and every character even has their own final level which caters to their gameplay style, which I think is really unique and very refreshing for a weird game like this. Lunistice was one of the many games I bought during the winter Steam sale a few weeks back, and I was intending on saving it for the future to eventually add to a backlog video which I want to work on by the end of this year, but instead of that, I got so into this game that not only did I beat Hannah's story straight away, but I also went and got every achievement in the game in roughly 10 hours, something I really don't often do. So, if you've got a spare £5 resting in your wallet, do yourself a favour and play Lunistice and enjoy a sweet platformer that I can guarantee you will love. I mean, £5, that's what, like a deluxe Tesco meal deal. Now that's a bargain if you ask me. If you don't have that money though, there is actually a free demo you can play if you can't just play the full game. At least give the demo a go if you're not willing to buy the game yet, but please, I implore all of you guys to test out this game because it is truly an indie platforming gem. Thank you all for watching.